welcome to the very first episode of Real with Rachel. I'm Rachel, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. This podcast is a safe space where we can be real together about life, love, family, friendships, and everything in between. My goal is that every time you tune in, you leave feeling a little more understood, a little more grounded, and maybe even a little more inspired. For my first episode, I wanted to start with a theme that's been showing up in my own life, and honestly, one that I think we've all had to deal with at some point in time, being the bigger person. Now let's just be real. It doesn't feel good. It feels unfair. It feels like swallowing your pride, and sometimes it feels like you're letting someone else win. But the truth is, being the bigger person doesn't make you weak. It means you're strong enough to rise above. And today we're going to talk about what that looks like in different parts of our lives. Family, friendships, relationships, and even random daily interactions. Then I'll share why it matters, what it's taught me, and how you can start practicing it too. Let's start with the obvious. Why is it so hard to be the bigger person? Because we want to win. We want to defend ourselves. We want people to know when they've hurt us. And sometimes, honestly, we just want to throw a little attitude back. But here's the thing. Being the bigger person isn't about winning the argument. It's about winning your peace. It's about realizing that not every comment deserves a response. Not every argument needs a winner. I've had moments where I thought, if I don't say something right now, they'll think I'm weak. But what I've learned is, the real strength is in choosing when to stay silent, when to walk away, and when to let go. That's a lot harder than snapping back. Family is probably where it's hardest. They know you better than anyone. They know how to push your buttons, and sometimes those disagreements cut the deepest. I've had arguments where I felt like, why should I always be the one to let it go? Why can't they be the bigger person for once? And I think a lot of us have felt that way. But what I've realized is that in family, being the bigger person often isn't about the argument at all. It's about protecting the relationship. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, do I care more about proving my point, or do I care more about keeping the peace with someone I love? And it doesn't mean you're ignoring your feelings. It means you're choosing the relationship over the fight. And that choice, in the long run, usually pays off. Now, let's talk about friendships. Friendships can be tricky because they're supposed to be your safe space. But conflicts still happen. Maybe someone left you out, maybe they said something that hurt, or maybe there's jealousy involved. Being the bigger person in a friendship doesn't always mean staying quiet. Sometimes it means addressing things with kindness instead of anger. Saying, hey, that hurt me, but I want to work through it because I value you. Takes a lot more strength than lashing out. And here's something I've learned the hard way. Sometimes being the bigger person also means letting go. Not every friendship is meant to last forever. And that's okay. Walking away from drama or choosing not to match someone's negativity is a form of strength too. It's saying, I'm choosing peace over proving a point. Okay, let's talk about relationships. Boyfriends, girlfriends, partners. Honestly, this is probably where the bigger person gets tested the most. Because you're in a relationship. Emotions are high, you're vulnerable, you're invested, and that means arguments can feel personal really fast. There have been times where I wanted to fire back just to defend myself, but when I took a step back, I realized that being the bigger person in a relationship often means listening first. Sometimes it's about letting your partner express themselves fully before you jump in with your side. But let me be clear, being the bigger person doesn't mean letting your partner disrespect you or walk all over you. It's not about staying silent when something crosses a boundary. It's about choosing the moments that matter. For example, if your partner forgets something small, you don't always need to make it a big fight. But if something really hurts you, being the bigger person means approaching it calmly and with respect. It's about saying, this hurt me, but I care about us enough to talk about it the right way. In healthy relationships, being the bigger person should go both ways. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's them. And when it's balanced, it builds trust and maturity. Now, let's zoom into daily life. Think about someone cutting you off in traffic. You could honk, you could yell, and let it ruin your mood. Or you could just let it go. Or the rude cashier, or that person at work or school who makes those little comments. We get dozens of chances every single week, even every single day, to be the bigger person in small ways. And when you start practicing it in those little moments, it becomes easier to do it in the big ones. Sometimes it's about saying nothing. Sometimes it's about smiling and walking away. And sometimes it's about remembering that you can't control other people. You can only control yourself. So why does it matter? Because at the end of the day, being the bigger person isn't about them. It's about you. It's about who you want to be. When you choose peace over chaos, you win. When you choose to control your reaction, you win. When you choose to protect your energy, you win. And here's the thing, people will forget the details of an argument, but they will remember how you carried yourself. Being the bigger person builds your character. And it's something that stays with you longer than a situation is over. So that's my heart for today. Being the bigger person isn't easy. In family, in friendships, and relationships, or even just in random daily life. But choosing peace, protecting your energy, and knowing when to let go, that's real strength. I want to challenge you this week. Notice one situation where you can either react or rise above. Just one. And see how it feels when you choose to be the bigger person. Thank you so much for listening to my very episode of Real with Rachel. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need the reminder. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And speaking of the next episode, we're going to talk about something that I think a lot about, and a lot of people experience, but don't always talk about it openly. Feeling lonely at college. Whether you're a freshman just starting out, or even an upperclassman who feels out of place sometimes, loneliness is so real, and I want to break it down and share how to navigate it. So definitely stay tuned for that. Until next time, remember, your peace is priceless, and sometimes being the bigger person is the best way to protect it.